Okay, here we go. Video log 2. This will be the second episode of the vblog that I'm going to be putting on the site. I want to cover a topic that I have not even covered in my written blogs. The old-fashioned typed out kind, so 90s. But anyway, we're into the 2000s, so I'm doing this video log thing, and the topic I want to talk about is systematizing your business. One note I think is very interesting for most real estate investors that get into our business. They don't have even a remote plan on how they're going to systematize their business. They treat their business kind of helter-skelter, mom and pop, whatever. They don't really have a plan. I think it's important to note that most of us do not realize getting into this that our business is a completely leverage-based business, which means you're going to have to borrow money at some point. So you're going to go to the bank and you're going to ask for money from a bank, and you don't have a business plan. You don't have a plan for what you're going to do, a list of assets, or any of those kind of things. And then we're all surprised when we can't get money. So, and I think the reason for that is a lot of people haven't viewed our business as a true business, nor do they treat it as a true business when they get in. They see a late night infomercial. They think they can get in, and shortly after that, they'll make a lot of money. They don't know how they're going to do it or why or where it's going to come from or whatever, but it's just going to happen. So I'm real big on systems anyway. So I'm going to cover a couple things and then talk about some stuff that I'll cover on subsequent vlogs regarding the same post. So number one thing, of course, is making a plan for what you're going to do. But in that, to me, is scheduling your time, scheduling times of the week that you're going to go look at properties, times of the week that you're going to do certain actions. Most of the people that I know that are really successful schedule time for themselves to plan their course of attack, so on and so forth. So consistency is a big thing. If you're going to spend time following up on leads, set a time of the week. Pick a time. Monday morning from 8 to 12, I'm going to call all of my old leads. That's my follow-up time. On Tuesday morning from 8 to 12, I plan my entire goal-setting situation for the following month. I want to track my goals to where I'm at for the month during that time period. On Wednesday morning, I book and plan for my marketing, so on and so forth. So you want to get some sort of plan going as to what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Implement a couple things so you can track what you're doing. Tracking is a big thing in most businesses. For some reason, most real estate investors don't use that tool. You can come up with a really simple form that you can do in Excel or what have you that will be a call log. So every time your phone rings and there's somebody calling on a piece of your marketing, you should be able to write that down, ask where it's coming from, how you heard about us, what reason you're calling, so on and so forth. So you can fill out that log so you know where you're getting your calls from. It's really important to know where the calls are coming from to know where to spend your money next month on advertising. So that's a good thing to do. You want to track that advertising. You want to have exact numbers that you spent, no forgotten numbers, so you need to have some kind of system in place. I find it really interesting that any business that's up now, when it gets started, one of the first concerns that most businesses have is what version of accounting software we're going to use. We're going to use Peachtree, we're going to use QuickBooks or whatever. You get into this business and 2 or 3 years later you go, I heard this new thing called QuickBooks. I think we ought to use it. When most businesses have used it since day one. There's really nobody to answer to. There's no real estate investor college to go to, so nobody tells you these things. But that's an important thing. And if you have one of the QuickBooks type things in place in your business, then you're going to be tracking all those things. You can pull up marketing in your system, punch a button, and tell you exactly how many dollars you spent this month on marketing. So that's very important. And then the marketing itself, planning your marketing out, systematizing how you're going to market, when, where, what you're going to market to, and really thinking through the marketing process instead of, let's go put out 50 bandit signs this weekend and no system to it, just going to go put them out. Don't know where, don't know what, any phone call, any telephone pole, bring a ladder, bring a friend, bring a hammer. So instead of that, some sort of a plan, a certain number of bandit signs strategically placed in certain areas to go along with a mailer plan that's going to be in that same area, along with words on the truck with phone numbers, so on and so forth. So some sort of a plan, business cards, that kind of thing. Planning out the marketing so that it's consistent, and even though you may not be able to brand to the level that a company or whoever has, but you will brand yourself in that your logo will be the same color as the color of the lettering on the sign for the bandit sign, as the lettering on your truck, and so on and so forth. So some professionalism in what you do, so you're going to appear, if nothing else, appear to be professional to the people that are going to see your advertisement. So that's a big thing, I think. And then of course making a plan for marketing from a buy standpoint, but also now in the market we're in now, making a plan for the sales strategy as well. Planning what you're going to do, coming up with a layout for a flyer that you may pass around the neighborhood within 2 or 3 streets of the subject property that you're trying to sell. Coming up with a description that you're going to put on the MLS listing, same flyer that you can send out to mortgage brokers that deal with FHA potential buyers, an ad you're going to put in the newspaper, when you're going to put it, a sign that you're going to place in the yard, what that's going to look like, and not forgetting to make it match your business cards and so on and so forth with your branding idea. So, and then of course, checklist. I feel checklists are really important in this business to keep you on task for what you're doing. So don't forget to come up with some checklists. When I purchase a house, what do? Step number 1, I got to call contractors. So I get out the list, and have I called at least 3 plumbers? Check. What's the bid? Put it down here. Have I called 3 electricians? So on and so forth. Step-by-step checklist so that you make sure you don't forget something. Is the power on? Is the water on? If need be, is the gas on? Have you checked all those things? Any of those kind of issues, so you make sure that when your guys get out there, you don't get delayed an extra day because they don't have water to clean a paintbrush out with, or whatever it happens to be. So that's something that you can come up with relatively easily, and you'll constantly add to it. That also will help you in your buy process, because you can backtrack that into your buy process so that you have a version of a checklist when you go to look at a house. So you know that when you go look at a house, you're going to check, look at the floors, look underneath the house, check the roof, and so that checklist will carry over into other parts of your business. And then in the current market, with financing being what it is, another good thing that we put into our systematic approach, the file, so to speak, that we're building on the house, photos and or even up to videos of the house in the before state and the after state. Really important to establish that before and after pattern. That way, when you go to sell your property, if there's a question from a lender where they say, now wait a minute, you bought it for $12,000, you're selling it for $80,000, we don't want to do that, what's the deal? Then you can prove, well, here's why I'm selling it for that. Here's the before pictures, here's what we did to the property, here's the documentation of what we did to it, our invoices, all those kind of things, and here's the end result that you guys got appraised, and it was appraised by a certified appraiser. So that's how we're establishing that value and substantiating it. So those things are real important right now. So I'm going to leave it at that for the first in the systems vblog series. I'll have a couple more of these, and we'll go into greater detail on some systems that you can implement for your business that will help you out to make it easier to run, so you run it and it doesn't run you as much. So look out for the rest of those. Thanks.